Steadfast podcast. It has been a long time. Not too steadfast. But you know, old saying, life is busy. So I just didn't take time for it, to be honest. Yes, life is busy, but we can always make time for the things that we love. So I see my cat back there again. I wanted to share some things that I've been learning from, again. It's been pretty much steadfast in me listening to Elizabeth Elliot. And it has been a wonderful blessing. And I wanted to share some things that I've learned. And hopefully will encourage you. Hopefully will help you to continue to be steadfast, trusting in the Lord. One thing, if we could just remember, and this has been the theme of this whole, ever since I started, was that God controls everything. Everything that happens, that's going to happen today, God's in it. We have to believe God is sovereign over everything. And we think, well, how can that be? If I get a flat tire, or if my printer stops working, or if the roast burns, there's no random thing in this life. We have to believe that to give us confidence and joy, knowing we are not some random occurrence in this universe just floating out in space and I'm just a process of random things happening. God is in control and He owns it all. If we could remember that. There's a quote that I heard that Elizabeth Elliot said today that really has helped me. So here it is. Be forewarned so you won't be shattered. Be forewarned. Today you will have trouble of some sort. Be forewarned so you won't be shattered. That it won't crumble you. Jesus has told us we are going to have tribulation, but be of good cheer. Remember Joseph. What did he say? You meant it for evil. God meant it for good. And a lot of people, she gets a lot of questions, Elizabeth, and they say, well, I've been hurt a lot. How can I trust someone? I'm scared. And she says, you will be hurt. You will be hurt again. That's what we have to remember. We live in a sin-fallen world. We will be hurt. I will hurt someone. I will let someone down. We are going to be hurt. We are going to have struggles and trials, but this is how we become more like Christ. Everything that happens is to make us more like Christ. And you can think of the most painful circumstance. It will never equal what Christ went through. And that was God's will. And you thought about this? She pointed this out. You remember when Christ was born, Herod killed all those babies because he was trying to get to Christ. So it was God's will when He brought Christ into the world. All that He was in charge of. And we think, how does that fit in with His love? We don't understand. We don't have to understand. God is love. We are the ones to blame. People ask all the time, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, let's change it. Why do bad things happen to good people? So, you have to remember, we are going to be hurt. God is in charge of everything. God is love. He reigns, even though it doesn't seem evident right now or at any time in history. Think about any time in history. It doesn't seem evident that He is reigning, but He reigns. I love what I read in Psalm 31. David was just lamenting. and he was talking about all the trouble that he had. He said, fear is on every side. Have we ever felt that way? Fear is on every side. Everywhere I look, I'm fearful. But this is what we need to meditate on. I encourage you to meditate on Psalm 31, verse, I have to look back, I need my glasses, verse 14. Okay, he just said, fear is on every side. But as for me, I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hand. Acceptance. Acceptance of everything that's going on as a gift. Lord, you know what's happening. I'm fearful. Fear is on every side. But as for me, I trust you, Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hand. They're not in the enemy's hand. They are not in our hands, praise God. They are in your hand. And he will take care of us. He's promised to never leave us nor forsake us. We may not know every minute detail of what he is doing, but we don't have to. We know what he has said already. He will never leave us nor forsake us. And God is love. Trust his character. God is love. He can do no other. So I pray the way to be steadfast is to remember his character. If fear is on every side of you today, Psalm 31:14. But as for me, I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hand. What better? Why would we fret? Why would we not be joyful remembering my times are in his hand? What better hands to be in? So I encourage you today. Remind yourself, meditate on his word. Don't meditate on the fear. Yes, fear's on every side. We will have trouble. Be forewarned so you won't be shattered. I can guarantee there's going to be some kind of something go in my day-to-day that I hadn't planned for. And it's not going to be very fun. It may be painful. But God is love. God is in charge of all. He is working in me to make me more like him. That's why we're here. That's why I exist. For him, not for me. And I encourage you today. I pray that you will pray the same prayer, David. I trust in you, O Lord. You are my God. My times are in your hand. I gotta stop it.